I just feel like as a person who is Caucasian, I just feel like when a black person says, "Hey, what should I do with my hair?" I feel like you're almost setting me up.
I mean, I didn't even ask that direct question. That was a kind of a wild way to put it. I'm just
But
debating if I
no,
want debating if I want to grow it or not. That's
you're
all.
like, "Hey, I've been thinking
Yeah,
to
no, I
talking
just
to me."
it's more of a question for the room. Michael could answer.
Question for the it's just me and you. It's just like I've been debating if I should grow it out or cut it, and I'm like, ah,
What's the white person response?
no,
You don't want to go cornrows? You gotta get cornrows?
you're gonna cut your fro?
You're not gonna keep the fro?
Get
You
the
should get
are
dreads.
you gonna get waves? Can I just
No,
borrow a do rag?
that's fair. I would have been upset with either answer.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's not, there's just nothing you can say. It's been an interesting week because I have been not sleeping, right? Or no, I'll say this. I've been sleeping, but I haven't been able to wake up.
that's that's problematic.
Yeah, like I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed at a decent hour. I'm talking like 10, 11 o'clock. Going to sleep. And then when it's time for me to wake up, I get my 8, 9 hours. I'm not waking up. Or at least it's taken an arm
Are
and a
you
leg
dying? What is
to
happening?
get me. So what I stopped doing, I stopped taking edibles
Okay.
at night. Because what I've been doing, hear me out here. I've been taking edibles, and I'm talking like not to go to sleep, but let's say I'm going to sleep at 11. I'll take an edible at 7 p.m.,
Mhm.
7, 8 p.m., and I just kind of let it do its thing. But then when it's time to go to sleep, I take Unisom
Oh, Unison will knock you out.
on top of like being on the edible towards the end, but like being on the edible.
That doesn't
And
sound smart. Unison alone will. I'm out. I don't
no,
take that unless I got 15 hours of sleep.
it's every night, yeah. And then so last night I decided, well, let me not take it edible. Let me just do it naturally. I woke up so good this morning. I woke up so good. Like just 8 o'clock, boom, hopped out. Sometimes you
Mm.
got to pop out and show them, you know?
Don't do drugs, kids. That's the conclusion we got from this.
Did you see the Saints head coach?
No.
He was talking to his team after they beat the Cowboys this week,
Mhm.
and he said, sometimes you got to pop out and show them.
That sounds very like cringeworthy in the locker room. Like, bro, shut up.
No, it was actually kind of fire
But
because
I guess after you beat the Cowboys like that, you can say whatever you want to say.
I feel like this past week, and I guess it's bound to happen in the second week because
Yeah.
in week one, we really only have an idea of what teams are
Yeah.
going to be. But like week two, it kind of really like, okay, who's really going to be? And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people lost money in week two.
100%,
A
including
lot of
us.
people lost. No, no, we lost money in so many different ways.
Especially us. And it was
Like
all
this
all
close.
like right there. Right there.
Dude.
I was this close from having $400. Now I have five. So
And
that's
that's $5, not 500.
yeah, no. There's no zeros at all included. Uh
So I gave Jordan a nice parlay for the
su-
UFC fights.
super nice. Which
5 legs,
which kudos to you because we were looking great.
5 legs, right? So 5 legs. First leg wins. Second leg was close, but won.
Mm-hmm.
Third leg won. Fourth leg was domination, and we're like, bro, it's down to the main event. If we
Let,
win,
let me clarify. Off $25, I had the 150 cash out. That was an option.
no. So yeah, we're talking. So we get many. I don't know how. I don't know like live. Like if you're actually betting at like a resort somewhere or a place where you could just walk in and place bets like Vegas or whatever. But the way we bet, there is a cash out option. So let's say you have a 5 leg parlay, and let's say you put $10, $25, whatever. That's what you did. You did $25, right? twenty
Yeah.
five dollars, and let's say 4 out of your 5 legs have hit, and then there's one more to go. it'll give you an option where you can cash out for a decent amount of money. Like, what, it give you 150?
Yeah, that was like 6 times what I
So
put
it's
down.
like you could cut your losses here and you could walk out with 150. And me and Jordan, we had the conversation.
We
We're
talked. Yeah,
like,
we talked.
hey,
Hey,
I'm
should
like,
we
hey,
just?
man, you can just, because at that point, I felt good with where we were at. But I'm
Yes.
like, hey, if you want to walk away with just some guaranteed money, you can do it. And then your words were, hey, we're already here.
Which sounds right. What you should be doing, right? That sounds exactly how you should be moving. I felt confident. 4 legs knocked out. We're just on the last one.
We're on the last one, and it was the
So,
Sean O'Malley fight. Sean O'Malley, Merab Davashvili, and yeah, it
and
didn't
O'Malley's
go.
the one I felt the most confident about. Ironically,
I
that's why I was
felt,
just like,
yeah, I felt it too. I was
we.
like, man,
I think we both said, "Hey, this can go the wrong way," but we felt great, and
yeah,
maybe
there
that.
was no denying that he wasn't fighting an animal. Like, there's
No, no,
no denying
this
that.
was not
Like,
a confidence from, "Oh, this guy's a scrub. We're good." That's not
no,
what that was. We were just riding on a high. That's all this was.
we're like, hey, this is what dreams are made of. At that point,
Absolutely,
we took O'Malley when he was an underdog. So it's like
100%.
O'Malley as an underdog will always be good money. That's always a good
Absolutely.
idea. There's certain fighters. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing with Valentina Shevchenko, the co-main event. When she's at plus money, you gotta take it
Absolutely.
because that's
And,
just too good of a fighter to not take at plus money.
and let me tell you how confident we were. I was planning out the dinner I was going to send Brandon on Sunday from the winnings that we had.
You're like, hey, I'm gonna Uber Eats him some shit.
I said, I got you, bro. I'm going to take care of you because you put down this crazy parlay that we're about to go crazy
Yeah,
on. And let me tell you something. The matter of silence that happened in our text chat throughout the entire fight.
bro.
No, we were on Zoom.
Yeah,
It was
we're
just
on
like
Zoom. We were like this.
we were going back and forth in between rounds. This fight, we didn't talk to each other at all.
No, we're like, man.
This is not
Um,
going well at all.
and the fact that what makes it kind of not go down very well is two judges had it scored 3 rounds to 2.
Yeah,
So in that we just needed one more round.
that's
We just needed
That's
one
it.
more round. It's
That's
not
it.
like it was a 50-45, a knockout, something like we needed one more round.
I mean, but if you visually watch that fight, I'll be honest with you, that did not look like a 3-2 fight.
No, it like that's the whole
Um,
point of the 10-point scoring system.
I get it. O'Malley was on the ground most of the time, but zero damage was happening when he was on the ground.
Yeah, it's like if 3 rounds he's on top, pause. There's a lot of pause in like in
Yeah,
MMA conversations, a lot of
let's just
pause.
let's just do a group
Yeah,
pause throughout the
group
entire UFC
pause.
conversation.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's
like
go.
if in 3 rounds, dude's on top of the other dude, and no damage is happening, just control. It's like okay,
How much? Yeah, what's really going on? You're just sitting on him.
but like it's clear, dude's just sitting on him for 3 pause. I mean, I can't, for 3 rounds, but then in the next two, Sean O'Malley has better striking, lands more damaging shots, stuff like that. While most of the fight is taking place on the ground, that's the whole point of the 10-point scoring system. It's like, oh, well, he only won those 3 rounds, but he won the other two. So like
Yeah,
that's the whole point of the system. But yeah,
and it's
really, I really like the way he accepted the loss too. He was on his podcast and he said no excuses. He said felt great weight cut, great camp, felt fine in there. He's like, my mom was asking me something looked off. Are you okay? And he was like, yep, just lost. Like I don't know what to tell you.
yeah,
Um, and
it
then
is
it
what it
came
is.
out. It came out later that he had a torn hip labrum that he's having surgery on, but he didn't even bring that up. He's like, no injuries, no nothing. So you appreciate that part of it.
Absolutely,
Um,
it's an amazing event. I mean, the
wow.
card got a little. I don't want to say it got bad because
The last two fights were not what the other fights were.
exactly, yeah.
The
It's
championship fights were not what
it's
the other
hard. It's
fights
hard
were.
to say they were bad fights because this is not kickboxing. It's UFC. Some of these fights are going to be on the ground. That's part of the sport. However, after you watch that other part of that card to start the fight, they were definitely a letdown towards the end.
Yeah.
But the production of the card, incredible. It's I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
I was zooted and booted, and I was looking at
Oh
that
yeah,
shit like,
that boy thought he was in
I
Mexico.
was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. But no, apparently that's going to be like the only event in the sphere because Dana White has I didn't know this, but he has a contract with MGM.
Mm.
So like he's obligated to go to the MGM Grand and
And
put on shows there.
and from my understanding, I think he lost money doing that because of how expensive the production was.
Yeah, no, that looked. I we
And
we we said it. We said all the other cards are gonna be lame. Like the next pay per view is just not gonna be that.
I mean, you got Alex Pereira fighting, so anytime you got him fighting,
Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree. Goodness gracious. Talk about two dudes that can just punch a hole through the earth.
that's what we're here for. I
That's
think after
what
watch,
we're here for.
and it's a hard battle, right? Like we said, ground game is part of UFC. However, Dana White knows, we all know that's not what sells tickets. That's and this year we've gotten a whole group of the most boring fighters in the world. What do you do in that scenario? Like it's if you're in the Dana White position, you can't throw off the integrity of the fighting. But these guys being champions are not necessarily good for business because they're dominant, but in such a boring way that like Alex is saving the sport because that's exciting
He
UFC.
has
That's
he has
what you
the
want to watch.
touch of death.
Which is that's what we sign up for. Which sounds crazy
Yeah.
because it's like why don't you just watch boxing? But it's not the same.
No, yeah, it gets to a point where what you're saying is valid because you got a guy like Sean O'Malley who I would argue is probably, I mean, if you want to talk semantics, he's a top 3 superstar ticket seller in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Could be one, but I'm not here to have like a logistical conversation about it. And it's all fun and games, but you get to those points where the dudes who maybe can't sell fights but are just absolute savages at what they do, you got to fight them at some point.
You can't deny him. You can't
Yeah,
deny him the
and
fight. You
then
can't. And
right, and
there,
then the next fight that's going to happen in that division is that fight's going to be so. It's going to be Khabib's cousin.
oh, I'm
Uh,
gonna take a nap during this fight. It's gonna be great.
those two, it's not going to be fantastic, and that's just what happens. But I think there's some really good talent, and you got guys like in lightweight, you got guys like Islam Makhachev. That's
Mm-hmm.
like he's he has his fair share of interesting fights, but dude can break your arm, choke you out, kick you in the face, like
And I've
guys like
noticed
that.
he'll fight a different way and make it interesting. Even though
Yeah,
I can keep you on the ground, but like let's do this.
that's
I like fighters
that's
like
what
that.
makes him so terrifying.
Yeah.
When Khabib, and I say Khabib because they train together and they're very similar, but Islam has way better striking than Khabib ever had. But when Khabib was fighting Justin Gaethje and Khabib took him down and was going to break his arm, but then he saw Khabib, he saw Justin Gaethje's dad in the crowd and said, "I didn't want to break his arm in front of his dad, so I did a triangle choke and choked him out
You know how
instead."
insane that is?
That's pretty crazy. That's
Like you are a professional, high talented fighter, but I don't want to put you out like that. So I'll do it differently because I feel for your dad in the crowd. That's
yeah, because
crazy.
he just lost his dad, so he's like, I didn't want to like snap it, so I just did a triangle choke and put him out instead. Like
What a good soul, you know?
real good guy. No, it's guys like that their whole life, there's nothing else in their life other than just training and being the best. Those guys aren't necessarily ticket sellers at the end of the day,
Yeah. They're
but
they're they're the best, but they're nobody wants
like,
to watch that. And that's
yeah.
kind of the downside.
Though I do think Marab, I do think he's hilarious. Like he's a
No,
funny dude.
he's fun. He's kissing
He's
O'Malley's back.
so funny.
It's
He almost got knocked out right there
yeah,
because he
I
got
know.
up and there's still time left, and
Yeah, he
O'Malley,
just walked away. Like,
got to protect yourself, dude.
yeah, O'Malley almost did the Floyd Mayweather, knock you out after you're looking a different way. I'm
That
not mad at it. It's what you do, especially after you kiss me on the back.
no, I'm you lucky I kick you in your head. Like, no, that's crazy. But no, it was super interesting. It just sucks when you got that 5-leg parlay, 4 legs strong, and then that's how it goes though.
Take the cash out, guys. It's okay.
Take the cash out. Uh,
That's the lesson we've learned. Take the cash out. We had the NFL parlay that you spoke on last week.
bad. I mean,
I felt good when it started. We had the
yeah.
Bills against the Dolphins.
It was a 4-leg parlay. Two got right, two wrong.
Yeah,
I pretty much
two.
I called Tampa Bay against Detroit.
Yeah, that was a good call. I
Yeah.
think the Buffalo against Dolphin, Tua died, so that was a good call. Uh, Buffalo spanked the Dolphins.
Yep.
Um,
And then
should all right. I do want to have this conversation. Should Tua play football anymore? I just
that's the perfect segue. We got to get into it at some point.
like
Man, it's so interesting because as somebody, and I've never played pro football, but as someone who's had concussions to a point to where the doctor was like, "Fam,
chill out. Like
clearly you're
this.
not doing something right."
Yeah,
Um, his concussions are not like normal concussions though.
yeah. He
Like we've
like
all like you played running back. Like
yeah.
you get your bell rung and you have concussions to where
You shake it
like
off.
you have to no well like you have to take a couple days from
Hey,
practice. You have to take a couple days off practice.
sir, I played football a long time ago. Shake it off. Stop being a bitch.
No, and actually I saw have you seen the Last Chance University, the football show on Netflix?
Yeah.
So the coach, Coach Brown, JB, he chimed in on Tua, and he said, and he I don't know what place of energy this was coming from. So I want to tell you how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
He said it's practicing in the NFL and the pros in college where you can't touch the quarterback ever, right? And then these
Mhm.
guys barely play in the preseason or they don't play at all. And then they get into the games where it's live action and all these guys are trying to take your head off and you haven't really been hit in a long time.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm like, that's an interesting way to look at it. He's like, yeah. And
But,
so Tua getting his bell rung like he did on Thursday night was probably the first time he's really gotten hit since last season.
but why is it only him? Other quarterbacks are getting hit. We watched Williams get torn apart and BI. You know what I mean? Tua did that wasn't even a hard looking hit. He ran into Damar Hamlin. Irony.
That's crazy.
His head hit his chest. I thought the world was going to
And
explode.
something like shuts off. Like
Yes, and his body.
us watching UFC, like we know when someone's out.
Yeah,
When
correct.
your hands get to like that's a neurological thing, you know?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Your hands clench up. It's a scary sight, especially in football. But it didn't look like that hard of a hit. And it's just at some point, dude, it's like you've got money. That's what concussion number 3, 4. Like, and
I don't, yeah,
this is
it's a
not just
lot.
concussion. This is violent concussion.
No,
Uh,
it's scary.
yeah, and that's what we've seen. That's what we know of.
Yeah.
Not to mention what's happened after. I think when you look at the guys, unfortunately, like the Antonio Browns of the world, dude, you are seemingly okay. You got a nice contract, move on. Like he's 25 years old, I think. You
Yeah.
don't want like this. One more concussion could end it. Let's be honest. Like let's have that conversation. One more concussion, and you may never walk again. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, it's to your point, it's the violentness
Yeah.
of the concussion where his body shuts off.
Yes.
And that's not normal for a concussion. Like, yeah, the blackout sometimes, or yeah, but like the way like his fingers twitch and it's honestly scary. I was watching the game with my wife, and my wife's never seen it before. And my wife's like, she was like creeped out by it. Like she's like, that's
Yeah.
she and my wife is someone who doesn't watch a ton of football. She's like, is this just what happens? And I'm like, no, this
Keep,
isn't
keep,
normal.
keep in mind, she watches UFC, and that was still abnormal
Yeah,
to see
no, my
something like
wife's
that.
a avid. My wife watches
That's
UFC
crazy.
probably more than anything, and like, yeah, no, it's different when like that's. I guess you expect it in the UFC,
Maybe so.
and
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, but it's like you don't expect it there, and I don't. My thing is, this isn't a knee, right? It's not an ankle that's a surgery or certain type of therapy is going to make it better. This is your brain, bro.
Yeah.
So
This
how
controls everything.
I'm no medical expert. I don't know how you get less susceptible to concussions.
Yeah, no, I
I
don't think
don't
it's
know how that
possible. I don't think it's
happens.
possible. I think that you have to call it quits. You have to move on. You got a guaranteed contract. Obviously, that's all not going to be guaranteed. I'm sure there's 100%. If you retire, we're not giving you this full money. But you've made a decent amount of money. I hope you've been responsible. I would hope after those first few concussions, you said, "Hey, we need to pocket as much money as possible because we don't know when this could be over." I hope he's been smart decisions. Call it a day. You're 25 years old. If you want to live to see 45, shut it down. That's as honest as you can be about it. Now, this is speaking from a bench player podcast, right? This is speaking
Yep.
from the sideline. There's a competitive nature in there. There's the what do I do without football thought process. There's a lot that goes with that. We're speaking from a very logical standpoint that has no emotions involved. That doesn't necessarily account for him. I get it, but I just, as a fan, I like Tua, but dude, it's like I I say that from perspective. I don't want to see that happen to you again.
Yeah, it's almost like, especially from the standpoint of you are paid, my guy.
Yeah, like you're good.
You're gonna see more money than 99% of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
And he doesn't
it
seem like the
it's
flashy guy.
it's awful. It's awful that something's just taken away from you. But it's honestly, it's because he's a quarterback, and it's because he has these big contracts. There's so many football players that have to call it quits because of
Yeah.
a multitude of injuries. He just needs to be added to the list. Now, let's get less depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get more analytical with it. Let's have fun with it. Let's have fun out of this bad situation, okay? Replacement options for Tua in
Mm.
Miami.
Mm.
I got
Skyler.
I got to no, he ain't it. It's fine, but he's not it, okay? I want to get more. I got 3 ideas, okay?
Okay.
Number 1,
What we got?
a Ryan Tannehill return to Miami. He's a free agent. He had some good years in Miami. He's made the playoffs in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I think him just being on the couch right now, have a Joe Flacco-esque type season like Joe Flacco last year. Come off the
Okay.
couch, return to Miami, and get to playing. Okay, that's number
Okay.
1. Number 2. Okay, number 2. After seeing the Rams start 0-2, losing by 40 to the Arizona. Shout out that bet, right?
Yeah. No. Thanks for that.
Miami has a lot of talent on that team. You
So
can't
much
you
talent.
can't just sew it
You,
in, right?
yeah. You can't just move on. You have to do something.
The Rams, if they continue to lose, Matt
Correct.
Stafford
Give me the trade. Trade.
is so damn talented still. Give me Matt Stafford going to Miami and sidearming some passes to Tyreek Hill and
Whew.
Jalen Waddle and Odell Beckham, who
Yeah.
used to be the quarterback for Odell Beckham, Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Won a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford.
Mm.
That's fun. Or do you go backup quarterback hunting? Which teams have legit backup quarterbacks? You look at Cleveland, Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm. Well, he might need to start now, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, because Deshaun Watson. We got more on Deshaun Watson. He could be getting suspended again coming
Yeah.
up.
No. That's nasty work.
And then the Houston Texans have the quarterback situation figured out. Davis
Davis
Mills.
Mills. That's a good option.
Davis Mills started a lot of games for Houston, a whole season, and played well in a lot of games. Davis Mills. He knows how to throw it up there.
That's fair. Now, keep in mind, the Dolphins just signed Tyler Huntley from the
I
Ravens
love
practice
Tyler
squad.
Huntley too.
Tyler Huntley, we like to call him light work Lamar Jackson.
Light work
Lamar Jackson, off brand Lamar Jackson.
I like him though.
I'm not mad at this decision. Now, is he the greatest thrower in the world? No. But when you have a receiving squad like that, it makes things a little bit easier.
The throws get easier because, like,
Correct.
sometimes you just got to dump it off in a screen, or you just chunk it as hard as you can and have Tyreek Hill run and get it.
Tyreek down there somewhere.
He's somewhere.
So I like the decision. You have to do something. To your point, you can't have that much talent and say, oh well, we'll wait another season. No, like it's okay. It's go time. Who's next? This is a huge position to be trying to replace. Tua is a great talent, so that makes it even tougher. I'll be honest with you. If I was the Dolphins, I would have been strategic about trying to get Justin Fields in the offseason.
Ooh,
That would have been the
I
smart
like
thing to
it.
do. Because I understand Tua just signed a big contract, but that would have been the perfect decision to make. Hell, even Russell Wilson in that decision, because you understand what happens with Tua. They should have been in the mix for one of those guys. Didn't happen. It is what it is. But now we're making backup decisions. And I think you're watching Justin Fields over there be decent. I'm not gonna say great, but he's been decent.
They're 2-0.
Yes,
He hasn't lost them many games.
not solely because of him, but yes, he's not losing them games. He's game managing, which that's
That
what the Dolphins need. They just need a game manager.
and that's Pittsburgh's MO.
Yes,
It's been that way since Big Ben. Like
yes.
I just need a guy who's not gonna turn it over.
And that's all the Dolphins need. They have so much talent. Just get the ball downfield.
But
Find Waddle.
imagine having to game plan. So behind Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields is the best scrambling quarterback in the league behind Lamar, right? So imagine having to game plan a Justin Fields running the ball all over the field, but then you also have Tyreek Hill, you also have Jalen Waddle, you also have A-Chain, who's a monster.
It's a tough offense, man.
Like
But
that would be
that's
tough.
but if you have to have some foresight, we know what happens with Tua. We have to be realistic with ourselves. That would have been the great decision to make. But hindsight's great, right? You don't. I would like to think you don't go into the season assuming your franchise quarterback's not going to play. You don't.
Yeah, I think once the contract's given out, you kind of, and again, to your point, why do this with Tua? But you think, okay, we're good here.
Yes.
Like I think
But
there's a select list of quarterbacks that like whoever's Pat Mahomes backup. I think it's Carson Wentz. Like
yeah,
Pat
we don't
Mahomes
care,
backup,
fam.
it could be anybody. It's typically in those situations, it's typically a veteran that's 40 years old that just knows the ins and outs of the game.
Yes.
So like it doesn't matter. There's a select few guys where you're like Lamar Jackson's backup. It's like he's relatively healthy. It's like okay, fine.
Tua is not one of those guys
Who's
at all.
who's Josh Allen's backup? No one knows.
No, not a clue.
So yeah, but I don't know if it was time like Cleveland, right? They have more money invested in Deshaun Watson than the Dolphins do in Tua. Yeah. But even Cleveland was smart enough to say this motherfucker's hurt all the time, or he could have another case pop up and he's suspended for the year. So they signed Jameis Winston, who I think is considered as one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league.
Yes, 100%.
So Cleveland had the right idea.
Not with anything else, but at least with that.
Yeah, like Cleveland was like, fine. They would, I mean, that's
hindsight's everything, right? But you have to have foresight, knowing what's happened in the past. You have to.
Yeah, like it's tough, and it's all hindsight, right? It's like, oh, we should have, but
shoulda, woulda, coulda. Now what do you do? Tyler Huntley's your replacement. I'm not mad at it, just because.
Well, it's gonna be Skylar Thompson.
I'm sure to start off
for the time being.
But I think you got Tyler Huntley over there. He's going to get a shot at least.
I hope Skylar, so.
I've watched him play. I'm not too confident about that. But
he doesn't have a good resume at this point because he's played in some games
because Tua's been hurt. Like,
and it hasn't been great. And as someone who in my most expensive fantasy league, I have Tyreek Hill, so
things aren't going great. No, I feel that.
No, after last game, I thought I really ran away with the league when I was able to get Tyreek Hill and Garrett Wilson in a 10-team league, which is pretty impressive. And both of them.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers looks like
he
looks like a 40-year-old. Let's say it how it is. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's not dumb with the ball. He makes good decisions. But he looks like a 40-year-old.
Yeah, it's tough. Do you want to get into? You want to get into Caleb Williams?
Yes.
How are you feeling about that?
Caleb Williams. It's 2 games. I'm not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm not asking for a whole synopsis.
Game 2 statistically did not look great, but I think that you saw signs. If you watched the game, you saw signs that hey, this could be the kid. He's got to realize he's not in college anymore. The whole let me escape 4 defenders and 5 defenders and then try to roll out and just throw the ball. It's not going to work.
Yeah,
we watched that happen. But I think there's hope. I think there's hope there. One, his line has to protect him. He was great. I think he doesn't get the ball out a little bit faster, but I think his line didn't do him any favors throughout the game. He was getting torn up. Texans fan here. I felt bad for him at some point. I was like, dog, do something.
The Texans defense is probably as legit as it gets. Yeah. So that's
tearing him apart.
Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter. That's
It's a
Tough pass rush.
scary one too.
Yeah.
Look left, look right. What do you do? So yeah, it's terrifying. But I'm not mad at it yet. I want to give him some more. I think Keenan Allen being out hurts 100%.
Yeah.
That's another option that opens up the field for you a little bit. So I definitely want to give him all his tools before we make that type of decision. Now, um, I think that seeing how that game was going, we could have changed up some play calling to protect Caleb Williams a little bit more than we did. Uh,
Give him some quick dump off passes.
exactly. That's
It
that's
seems like
that's
every play's a 5-step drop with 2 or 3 reads, and it's like,
this
and you
game was
got
not
DJ
blown
Moore,
out.
and you got DJ Moore. Just
Yeah.
line them up in
Which
slot and just.
DJ Moore didn't look the healthiest either. Let me clarify. He didn't look super great regardless.
I think he was just. I think he was
And he
just
was pissed
running.
off.
I think he was just running all over the field trying to get open. But
like I said, they're playing legit defense. That's yet to be considered that as well. It's a good defense they're playing against.
yeah, there's a video on the internet of me saying. So for one, I predicted Justin Fields being traded to the Steelers, and before that happened, I had this crazy idea that nobody was talking about. It was right. It was before the draft. It was when everything was being considered. I said, why don't the Bears draft Caleb Williams and keep Justin Fields?
That would have been logical.
Why? Like, why? No one, everyone's like, it's one or the other. It's one or the other. And I'm like, why? You know?
You traded Justin Fields to be a backup when he could just been a backup. Or he could have started and let Caleb Williams back up and not get thrown to the ground.
I'm higher on Justin Fields than most people. Maybe that's the case.
And I think you kind of are, but I'm
Is
not mad
anybody looking at this offense and thinking, what if Justin Fields had
100%.
this offense?
100%. You almost have to look at it as a slight. Like you took look at what's happening with Bryce Young, right?
Ooh, we got to get into that too.
You're not giving me anything, and you're saying this guy sucks. You're not giving me anything.
Right.
Now you're trading me. You're giving me away, saying that you're not good enough, and then you're suddenly providing all the tools that I needed while I was there.
While I'm gone.
Yes, like you can't. Like, what are we doing? I think we have these organizations that try to bring young quarterbacks in, give them zero tools around them, and says, "Why do you suck? What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, well, I think maybe that GM or whoever's making the decisions, owner, GM, whatever, the combination of both. I think they read a little bit too much into the headlines. Like, Caleb Williams was considered to be a generational talent coming out of college. And I think there's flashes that are there. I think his arm is definitely there. I think his creativity and improvisation is there clearly. But he's still a rookie at the end of the day.
That's the part that we have to remember. I think we talked about CJ Stroud last year. Oh, he had such a great year. They brought a whole new setup for him when he came in. We had a great offensive coordinator that came in to help us push him along. We brought a coach in who understood this is a rookie. We need to protect him in those processes. I think that we even accused the Texans of kind of holding CJ Stroud back a tiny bit by being conservative, but that's what you do with a young guy. You build up that confidence. You protect him from his own mistakes. That's what you do. That's how you treat a rookie quarterback. Versus you have these other organizations that are saying you're generational talent. Go out there and be great. And figure it out yourself.
Change the franchise for us.
That's not how this works. You have to protect.
It's how it works sometimes, but not all the time ever.
It's a very rare situation.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think they thought Caleb Williams was one of the ones, and I think we're seeing not yet, at least not after 2 games.
Like I like what's happening with Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta. Hey,
it's a good situation.
I'll put you behind this guy. You learn from this guy. Which, by the way, shout out to Kirk Cousins for ruining my parlay yesterday. He went stupid in 30 seconds.
Atlanta could be a problem. We'll get into that too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's but I think that's how you set up a quarterback for the future. Granted, fact, only part I don't like about that, Michael Penix is old as hell already. So he's
like already 28.
He's like 30 years old. You're one of the young guys.
He's gonna be a franchise quarterback at 33 years old.
He's the coach's age. But it's the right setup. I think we kind of transition into Bryce Young. He's got benched 18 games in, 2 coaches. Two offensive coordinators. Talk about not setting somebody up for success.
Yeah, so I guess I'll lead this one off. Um, I want to clarify in 18 games, Bryce Young has a record of 2-16. His completion percentage is under 60% at 59.3. A little over 3,000 yards, 11 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, quarterback rating of 70.9. Now, here's the thing. This is where this might be against the grain. I don't know. I don't know where the masses would stand on this. I love the move
Really.
because we've had similar conversations, but more in the basketball realm,
Mm-hmm.
where we talk about, okay, you need to let the young guys go out there and figure it out and lose games and learn on the job. I understand that 100%. Like, there's not a side of that argument I don't get. I like the owner stepping in and saying, because as me, I watched Carolina's first two games this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some of the worst football I've ever seen. Like, it looked like a high school team playing a pro team. They don't throw the ball. They throw the ball laterally. Like, they just do screen passes, dump offs. There's no throws down the field. Um, I like the owner stepping in and saying, we got to put at least a somewhat entertaining product on the field. Otherwise, our fans are going to completely turn on us.
Yeah.
I like that move because, okay, we let him start from the beginning. Maybe that was a mistake. He could have been learning behind Andy Dalton this whole time.
Yeah.
But now let's take a step back. Let's reassess. And Andy Dalton, I guarantee you, is going to put a better, more entertaining product on the field. And it's kind of the owner stepping in and saying, I'm not ready to be the worst team in the league yet. And
Yeah.
I respect that move. I respect it.
But I think that when you say this offense looks terrible, all we do is throw lateral throws. Why are we also not addressing the offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
What the
No,
hell are we doing on the field?
yeah.
Now, Andy Dalton, more experience. He's going to know how to handle these things a little better. Obviously, he's not a superstar quarterback by any means, but he's a veteran. He's been through this. He's gone through multiple seasons. He's been bad. He's been good. We've seen it all for him. He knows what to expect and how to get around this. So I keep in mind, me or you, neither one of us were very high on Bryce Young to start. So I'm not super surprised by this, but I am upset we're not giving this young guy a chance. Because what happens now, right? He gets benched. Andy Dalton, to your point, performs better than him. Now what? You go find
Yeah.
another quarterback? That's the cycle we're going through.
So it's not a sexy experience, right?
Yeah.
But I've never been, and like I said, we've had this conversation when it came, because we're Rockets fans, so we've had some dark times recently. I've
Mm-hmm.
never been the fan of let's go out to lose. That's
Yeah.
never been what I'm about. And I want the first pick. And in basketball, it's a little different because of the lottery, but like, I want the first pick. I do, but I don't want to get it by planning to lose. Like, let me
Right.
go out there, let me lose. If we're the worst team, let's go try all of our options that we have to win. And if we're still the worst team, we're still the worst team. Like, it's going to show its
Yeah.
head regardless.
So yeah, true. Yeah,
Um,
it's not like we can win a bunch of games, and that's why we're tanking because we can win, but we choose not. Like, no, we
yeah.
suck. That's why we're here.
If we could, so like, let's say Andy Dalton comes in. There's, I don't know. I was gonna say there's some worse teams out there. I don't know, but
I don't know
like,
what there is.
I
Yeah,
mean, they got
calm down.
they got the rookie receiver. They got Deontay Johnson. They got Adam Thielen. They got Chuba Hubbard at running. The
Thielen
best
looks
name.
Thielen looks pissed on the field every time Bryce Young throws him the ball. I just want to be clear.
And he had a crazy year last year with Bryce Young. So
Mhm.
maybe he was expecting more of that. No, but I would say after 18 games, I think you got it. I think you had a chance to show something, and I just don't think he showed anything. And he looks so small.
He looks like a 5-year-old.
Like, there, and we've texted about this. There are small quarterbacks. Like, Baker Mayfield's not the tallest quarterback. Kyler Murray is not the tallest quarterback. But there's like characteristics. Kyler Murray, super fast, and has a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of make up for being small.
Yeah.
I don't think Bryce Young has either.
Yeah. He doesn't have the athleticism to escape the pocket super well. He doesn't have the arm to make up for it. It's, yeah, no, you see it. Like I said, I was not high on him to start this process. I just don't love how they set him up. I think
Yeah.
to your point, he shouldn't have been starting from the jump. Um, it's I don't know. I don't like setting these guys up for failure. I think we see it a lot. I think Caleb Williams right now, granted the fact they try to give him a team, we're not setting him up for success either. Be conservative with your quarterbacks. Let's start it off. Let them earn their way throughout the season. But I think we saw Caleb Williams, big arm. Let's give him the Patrick Mahomes treatment before he played a single game in the NFL. That's a mistake.
Yeah. And even Patrick Mahomes himself did not start right away. He
Exactly.
sat behind Alex Smith.
We watched the CJ Stroud. He didn't start off like that, but throughout the season, we let him go. He started flying. Year 2, load that team up. Let's go. It's time. You did that to Caleb Williams before he played a game in the NFL, and that was a mistake. Obviously,
Yeah.
we always talk about hindsight. If he looks great when he goes out there, it looks like a genius idea. But it doesn't. It's not a good setup. It's not.
No,
You're putting a lot of
with
pressure
you.
on a young guy.
I definitely think they're reading the scouting reports and everybody's saying Caleb Williams is the next Patrick Mahomes. And they're like, well, if that's the case, let's go with it. And
Yeah.
I respect the decision. But
They went all in.
when you simply didn't have to trade Justin Fields, like
Yeah.
you didn't like what it's competition. Like it's like if Caleb Williams would have came in and played in training camp and in preseason alongside Justin Fields, and if Caleb Williams just blew him out the water, okay, let
Cool.
him
Yeah.
start, but let him earn it. You know,
Yeah. And maybe year 2, trade Justin Fields for something.
right?
That's different. You don't have to do it right this second.
Miami calls and says, "Hey, Tua just
Boom.
got his 9th concussion.
I want Justin Fields. What do you want? That's a whole different conversation. Now you're getting more because they're in desperate situation.
I just like Chicago and they're they're probably the worst franchise in history when it comes to quarterback. They've
Yeah.
never had a quarterback throw over 4,000 yards ever in history.
Which is as such a long tenured team.
Right.
That's
One of the
crazy.
most historic teams.
Yeah.
It's like you had an opportunity to not mess this up and you found a way to kind of mess. I'm not gonna say it's a mess up now, but like you could have secured your situation
Yeah.
and you just made things harder on yourself when you didn't need to.
Yeah.
But
That's all. That's what all comes down to.
it is what it is. I think we should just really look back at last week and talk about some games that went down. Who had it on their bingo card that the Ravens would start 0-2 and lose to Gardner Minshew and the Raiders?
That's embarrassing.
That is an interesting game.
What is going on over there? The AFC looks a little funky. I couldn't understand that because I've never lost a game this season. Your team having a loss at this point is crazy.
What's losing?
Wait, there's a number in your second set of numbers?
In that second column, you telling me it's not a 0? What's that?
I thought everybody had zeros. What's going on? But no, it's they look weird. I don't know how to explain it.
They look so good, but they look so just interesting at times.
You cannot lose to the Raiders. You just can't. There's no other way to put that.
Gardner Minshew leading the NFL in completion percentage, which is interesting. So hey, you got to understand, Devontae Adams is still over there. Yeah, Devontae Adams is still over there.
Devontae Adams, what was the same thing you said with Tyreek Hill? Adams over there somewhere.
Just throw him the ball. He'll catch it in the vicinity.
That's the mistake they made last year. They didn't throw him the ball.
He had a really good game last game, and they needed it. The Saints start 2-0. Derek Carr looks like the best quarterback in the NFL. Statistically, I think he is the best quarterback in the NFL. And they drop a 40 burger on this Cowboys defense that is suspected to be really good, has been good for a couple years now. Drop the Cowboys 44-19. Alvin Kamara scores 4 total touchdowns.
Through 2 games, the Saints have not had a drive and not scored. That's insane.
Who had that on their bingo card? And then we go. The Green Bay Packers with Malik Willis at quarterback.
Thanks, Colts.
Beat Anthony Richardson, beat Jonathan Taylor, beat Michael Pittman Jr., made the Colts look like a college team, and they barely threw the ball. They lined up and handed the ball off every single play. And the
Hey, this
Colts
isn't
were like,
working. Yeah. How do we stop it?
how
Stop,
do we
stop,
stop
stop the
it?
run. Nah.
Nah,
It's
we're good. We'll wait for the pass. Also, that happened. The Vikings start 2-0 with Sam Darnold at quarterback and beat the San Francisco 49ers,
y'all,
who
coaching
were,
matters with quarterbacks. Coaching matters.
dude,
How many examples do we need?
um, I watched that Bengals Chiefs game. That was a good game.
That was. They lost a bad loss for the
Yeah.
Bengals.
And then the Eagles and Falcons.
Pain.
Eagles had everything. Eagles had everything lined up to win the
Saquon
game.
Saquon Barkley dropping that ball literally just took money out of my pocket. I just want to be clear.
Jordan had a nice parlay going. Devontae Smith touchdown and the Eagles win. A little bit of change in your pocket.
Yeah, got Devontae Smith touchdown real early, felt solid. And then the Eagles were in position to win. We had about a minute, 2 minutes left.
They said with a minute and 40 seconds left, the Eagles had a 99% chance of winning the game.
Let me tell you how great I felt. I'm watching the game. I'm just like, cool, gonna
No,
make some bread.
you texted me at halftime and you were like, looking good so far. And I'm like, it's way too early to be talking. With our luck, with
But
me and your luck, that's really early to be talking.
the thing was, the hard part about that was the Devontae Smith touchdown. That's what I was mostly concerned about.
You was like, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed.
Got it, because the odds didn't have AJ Brown being out yet, so I said, bam, I'm ahead of the curve. His odds are higher because they think AJ Brown's playing. Bam, put it in. Let's get to it. Got that Smith touchdown early. I was like, all we got to do is seal it up. We're the better team. We got this. We don't got this. That's what it came down to, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, there's also a video on the internet somewhere of me saying, I think the Falcons are going to be a high-level playoff team this year. They didn't show it week 1, but I think they showed it week 2.
Kirk Cousins looked like Jesus on the field for a second. I'm telling
he's
you,
a really good quarterback.
I know, but it's still upsetting. I just want to be, I was like, they have no timeouts, a minute 30. This should go quick. By a minute, they were on the 10-yard line.
You were like,
what is happening?
You go to get some apple juice and you turn around like, what the fuck?
I didn't even pour it into the glass yet.
You're just holding on to the jug. You're just holding on to it. Like, ain't this about a bitch?
It's pain, man. And then Eagles had a chance to come back, and then Jalen Hurts. Why did you throw that ball? I think he was trying to throw it out of bounds and just threw it to the other team. Jalen Hurts, turnover curse.
No, it's interesting. I still think the Eagles are going to be really good. I think the Falcons are going to be really good. I think both of those teams are going to be nice.
I mean, Saquon catches that ball. That game's over.
Nice ball game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Saquon dropping a pass is crazy because he's one of the best receiving backs in the league.
He's having a great game too.
Oh yeah, he was going off. And the Eagles, I watched. So last year I had Jalen Hurts at quarterback. So I watched pretty much every Eagles game last year, and then I have Saquon Barkley on my fantasy team this year. Couple of play calls that the Eagles do make me scratch my head.
I can see that.
It's interesting, but so you want to go week 3, right?
Let's do it.
Week 3, some notable games. Thursday night is Patriots and Jets. Not the sexiest game.
You're gonna skip that. That's for sure.
We're gonna skip that.
I was off, and I said, "Let me work.
Let me work." Texans and Vikings is an interesting game.
Vikings look solid. That's
Both
gonna be a fun game.
teams 2-0.
Somebody coming out loser.
Someone's O's got to go. Justin Jefferson had a quad injury. He left in the third quarter of last game. Says he's going to be playing, so ain't got to worry about that. Eagles and Saints.
That's going to be a crazy game.
Will the Eagles drop to 1-2?
3 weeks ago, I would have said that's going to be, that's a quick and fast game, whatever. Today, I'm telling you, that's going to be a slugfest.
That's going to be interesting to watch.
That'll be a fun game.
The other 2-0 team the other two 2-0 teams playing. Chargers and Steelers. Again, not the sexiest game, but someone's O's got to go.
Sunday
Chargers.
night.
Chargers. J.K. Dobbins.
Tough.
Jesus. My wife went to high school with J.K. Dobbins,
That's
interestingly
crazy.
enough. But J.K. Dobbins, back-to-back games, 130 plus rushing yards.
That's insane.
Coming off of was it an ACL and an Achilles injury?
Dude.
What?
Yeah, no.
So
that Sunday night game looks crazy though.
Well, we got Sunday night Chiefs
Atlanta
and
versus
Falcons.
Chiefs. That's gonna be a fun game. Let's see. I think that's gonna be a tall tale sign. Are the Falcons pretenders or contenders?
I just think the Chiefs are so good, man, because Patrick Mahomes hasn't even played like a good game.
No,
like the first game was fine. Last game, he did not have a good game last game.
The fact that so many why did the Bills let the Chiefs have Xavier Worthy? I don't understand. Why stop it?
Dude, so the last game I watched, the Chiefs, well, I watched both Chiefs games actually because they're both primetime. Patrick Mahomes last game made really bad reads, threw it right to the defense, not smart reads, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
In a weird way, that's like the sign of a great quarterback when little things like that happen. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it just doesn't because it doesn't. He has some plays that sets the team back. The defense is nice, so they hold, and then he throws the most beautiful ball you've ever seen in your life.
It's pain.
It just sucks.
I'm so tired of these great teams popping up, these all-time teams popping up against my team. I don't like it. I had the Warriors. Now I got the Chiefs. I'm tired of this.
And when last time the Texans were really good, we kept running into Tom Brady, prime Brady.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like,
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Stop doing this to me.
No,
somebody suck.
That is tough. And then now, man, the Rockets with the Warriors. Yeah, that's what you said.
And it's not like no, this was a good Nuggets team. This is some of the greatest teams of all time that we're running into.
And they're just in the conference, right?
Yeah, no, that happens to happen when we're good. When we suck, they suddenly fade away. I don't understand.
Yeah, when we're bad, it's like the other teams get shine, you know?
Yeah, no. Klay Thompson's like, you know what? I can go to Dallas. It's cool. I've done my job. I think Klay said something about I own Houston, and I can't argue with it. It's upsetting.
No. Yeah. Also, 2 Monday night games coming up. Jaguars versus Bills. Jaguars are a mess, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a little disappointing. Bengals.
Honestly, the whole AFC South. Honestly, nobody has a win besides the Texans 2-0.
Imagine being in week 2 and having a 2-lead
2-game
from the
lead.
whole conference. For the whole conference.
That's crazy.
We can go to sleep for 2 games and make this interesting.
But yeah, Commanders Bengals. That's actually an interesting game.
Jaden Daniels has been I think
he's looking like the best. He's looking like the best rookie quarterback thus far.
Fair.
Thus far,
yeah, that's fair. Which we thought was a possibility. We talked about.
Yeah, he runs with the best of them. He just showed off a little more accuracy last game and was, really good completion percentage. Beat the Giants, which I think didn't they win on all field goals? That's crazy.
They didn't score that. They didn't score a single touchdown. The Giants suck.
I think they said something. The Giants were the first team to not allow a touchdown, and it was some weird stat. It was like some only New York Giants stat that was
how did we watch Justin Fields and say this guy's got to go, but we saw Daniel Jones and said let's extend this guy?
Dude, that's a whole conversation. No, it's been. And so you want to talk about how's it feel to be in the win column?
I mean, I know nothing but it. You know what I mean? So,
here it goes. Here it goes. Hold on, but I don't want to cut you off. But I just found it up right here. Giants are the second team in NFL history to score 3 touchdowns, allow 0, and still lose.
That's nasty work. That's crazy. How is it even possible?
I'm over here. I'm terrible at math, so I'm over here trying to do that in my head, and I don't get it.
How they scored 3 touchdowns? Did they not make any field goals?
No, yeah, it's just that's how it goes.
Oh yeah, Pat failed. 2-point conversion failed.
Yep.
Two-point conversion failed,
Yep.
and that's crazy.
No.
And they just
That
made 7 field goals.
that's the most giant thing. And that's what I don't like about that's what bothers me about in the NFL about GMs and owners. Is like y'all can just make these bad decisions and then y'all keep firing the coach.
Yeah, no, this is your fault.
The owner never gets in trouble. The
Well,
GM, I mean, the GM gets fired by the owner, but the owner can just sit here and just.
that's the beauty of owning something. It's kind of I'm gonna blame everybody else. I respect it.
You're supposed to make him good.
Yeah, no. What are you doing?
But we
I
both started 0-1 in fantasy, and then we both got back in that win column.
we out here. You know what I mean?
Your
It feels
team, and I'm pissed. I'm pissed at myself because when I was making the bets, the anytime touchdown bets weren't there. But I said Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. are scoring this week. Like it's a lot, and they
and
both went crazy.
if I had Marvin Harrison Jr. and you told me all his points would come from the first quarter, I'd be like, man, he had a really bad game. An all timer in 1 quarter. I'll take it every day.
That's
He went
crazy.
stupid. 4 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Dude, that's how those things happen. Where
I
it's
am
like after week one, they're like, man, Marvin Harrison Jr. drafted him too early. Some people took him in the late first round. And it's just like, dude, the
it's
second game, he's
it's
gonna
so
go crazy.
it's so funny. People were like, Kyle Murray woke up and was like, oh shit, Marvin Harrison Jr. is on my team.
He looked up from
Like
playing
it's
Call of Duty and was
yeah,
like,
no, it's like,
hey,
oh shit.
wait, you mean you're the son of
When did we get you?
when did we get you? Is crazy. Because what's the narrative is that he doesn't do any film or anything like that.
I mean, obviously not. He didn't even know who was on his team. He found out this week. That's for sure.
He had such an interesting comment after that first game. He's like, it's not my job to get guys the ball. It's like, quarterback, what?
No, when I heard that, I was so disappointed. I was like, is
Your
he ever gonna throw?
your
Is he ever
fantasy
gonna throw
team
the
was
ball?
like, no.
Wait, what? No. That's the dumbest comment I've ever heard in my life. First and foremost, if I'm the coach of that team, I'm pulling you aside immediately. What the hell are you talking about?
What did you just say?
That is your sole job, actually.
Like, your job is to get people the ball.
That's literally nobody else's job but yours. That's
Nobody else can do that.
Well,
That's
clearly they had a conversation because he came out and found him on every pass.
no, yeah. They
In the
look
first
like
quarter.
they were clicking on all cylinders, honestly. And no, you popped off though.
That's
You
cleanup.
you popped off the most points in the league
I mean,
last week.
it's hard being this tough. You know what I mean? But we too, we have to move on. We too have to play CJ Stroud, which hurts. It hurts me internally.
Well,
And
CJ's not that like from a fantasy standpoint, not that
I know,
tough.
but that's my guy. But if they got Stephon Diggs, which I feel like Stephon Diggs is due for a game, and it's scaring me that's going to be this week.
Let's just look at your team. So your underperformer was Lamar Jackson
Which
at
that's
17-3,
that's
right?
I'll take that all day.
247 yards, touchdown pass, a pick, 45 rushing yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., 27 points, 4 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Slight work. Slight work.
Nico Collins, 23.5 points, 8 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 14.5 points, 103 rushing yards, 32 receiving yards. This one was crazy. Devin Singletary, an interesting start, but I mean, you had some injuries, so you had to plug him in. 14 points, 95 yards, and a touchdown. And he fumbled. If he wouldn't have fumbled, he had 16 points.
Yep.
George Kittle, 7 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown. And then this is your steal right here. Rashid Shaheed, 96 yards and a touchdown with 13 rushing yards. That's crazy. And your defense gave you a little 8 points. Kicker gave you 7 points. You're the most points in the league. Like you might take if your guys keep playing like this, you might take it home.
Well, we gotta do it every week. You know what I mean? I talk to the team.
One week at a time. 1 week at a time.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? We don't get too excited. You know what I mean? Things happen in the NFL. We'll get busy though.
No, I'm really excited to see you turn because I had a high scoring first week and I lost. you had a low scoring first week and you lost. And then we swapped. I had a low scoring week. You had a high scoring week, but we still won week 2. So, I mean,
That's what matters, right?
I think I just played the worst team in the league. I think that's what happened with me. But,
Hey, hey, it
hey,
happens how it happens, week by week.
I can't help who I play.
That's it. You play the man that's in front of you. That's all.
You play
That's
the
all it
man
comes
that's in
down to.
front of you. That's right. Um, I mean, that's really all I got for football. I mean, you want to.
Basketball 3 weeks out. I just want to say, 3 weeks out, preseason. We right
How
around
we
the
feeling?
corner.
How we feeling?
I feel great. You know what I mean? It's. I will say the Olympics kind of took away the long break you typically get from basketball. It didn't. It
Right.
has not felt that long. Pause. So yeah, that was crazy.
Has it? So it's one of those things where it's not a pause until you say it, and then I realize how pause worthy it is. If didn't feel that long is crazy, but I would never notice it until you say pause.
I had to say something because I said it, and then you know one of those things.
Never in
Have you
my
ever said
mind.
something and then you heard it yourself say it? You're like, that was crazy. Let me
You're like, did anybody catch that?
just in case. Pause. But no, I'm excited for the season to start. It's gonna be a fun season. Once again, one of those years where I want to say last year I didn't know who's gonna win, but I picked who was going to win. I thought the Celtics were gonna win the
You did.
championship. I feel like they're gonna be the favorites this year too. But I think it's gonna be a fun season. I think last year was a really fun season. So we're back at it again this year. I'm excited. We got Clay in Dallas, which is the weirdest thing in the world. You got Paul George with the Sixers. You got the Knicks that look crazy from top to bottom. That's they can. It's so funny because they have such a strong roster, and Thibodeau's gonna play like 5 people. That's it.
Well, I mean, I think now is if he ever had a case to opening up that rotation, I feel like it's now because well, you got Brunson at your 1, and
Mm-hmm.
then you got Josh Hart or DiVincenzo at 2, whichever one you want, right? I personally think Josh Hart's more of a bench guy
I
just
agree.
because he brings a different level, a different
Yeah,
energy off the bench.
he's a great spark off the bench.
And then you got Mikal Bridges at 3, and then Julius Randle healthy at 4.
It changes things.
You, it's good. You better pack a lunch. That's all I'm saying.
No, honestly, like
And I
it's
know, I
this
know,
roster is crazy.
we've been waiting on Mitchell Robinson to do something, but he still has a crazy wingspan. He's still a rim protector.
You still have OG Anobi as well.
Oh shit,
Like
I forgot about him.
that's what I'm saying. Like this
So
team is
Hart and DiVincenzo on the bench, and then you go Brunson, Mikal, OG, Randall, Mitchell. Mikal plays your 2.
probably, but that bench crew is insane.
Good Lord.
Miles
Miles
McBride,
McBride,
come
DiVincenzo,
on,
and Hart off your bench.
come on, bro. What are we doing? And you still have the likes of a Cameron Payne who can give you a decent game every now and then. It's
Plug and
it's
play guy.
yeah, exactly. Like it's this team is then I don't know, man.
That's a tough
I
squad.
and it's one of those people. I think people are like, oh, well, they don't have as much talent as other teams. Like y'all don't understand. The Knicks had a system that worked with playing these scrappy guys, and they just signed like the Michael Jordan of the scrappy guys with
Right,
Mikal
yeah.
Bridges. Like it's they just added to that. They're gonna be a fun team to watch. And I think we forget that Julius Randle was not healthy last year. So you add that into the mix,
And I
man.
love Julius Randle. I think Julius Randle's one of those dudes where I'm just always going to value him more because
Yeah,
prime Julius, like the all star Julius Randle
tough,
leading the Sixers almost
tough,
single handedly. That's tough.
tough, man.
Um, it's going to be interesting, man. And then you talk about like the Sixers are new, the Knicks are newish, and then
This the
the
Sixers are gonna
Bucks.
be tough too.
The Bucks are still there.
We forgot about the Bucks. I mean,
Right.
they were so hurt, you forgot they were there. But it's like, no, they're
Giannis
coming
is still
back,
there.
and the Celtics are still there.
And the
Like
Celtics are still there. Nah, the East, like I said, the East is very top heavy.
the West, who are you thinking? OKC, nasty.
I think it's one of those situations where OKC is going to be the team that's going to constantly stay in the top 3 seeds. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. But I kind of compare them. You remember when the Hawks were good like every year? Like the
Yeah,
Hawks with when LeBron was in the East,
They were good, but never,
The Hawks would always the Budenholzer Hawks would always be first place.
but could never get over the hump.
But it just when you get into the playoffs, it just didn't matter. I think
Yeah.
the Thunder are going to be a squad like that.
But I think the difference is SGA. That's your difference in that.
Superstar.
You have a dude that can get it done. And I think they got stronger, which
and you got dudes constantly getting better. Constantly getting better.
Like Chet can only get better. He's just one of those guys that's going to continue to get better.
Jalen Williams can only get better.
And then they got stronger. I mean,
then they got they got Topic, Nikola Topic from the.
Oh yeah, he comes back
at some point, and he was towards the top of the draft board when he was healthy.
That's terrifying. I'm scared. Like we kind of talked about how high we had him, and to see him go to a team like that where they're like, "No, dude, just take your time. We don't care.
No, don't rush it. Don't rush it.
Man, no, I don't care. Do what you got to do." And then you look at their roster. They add Alex Caruso,
one of those gritty guys.
Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, what are we?
Another gritty guy.
What are we doing here? They just made their bench so much better. I don't. They're gonna be a tough team. I don't know. I don't know if I can compare them to the Hawks. I think they have too much talent for you to make that comparison.
Yeah. They're gonna go nuts. Honestly,
Timberwolves are gonna be tough. I really would like them
to get rid of
Rudy Gobert. I hate that guy. Like, what if we trade a Rudy Gobert out? Give me a Walker Kessler. I'm willing.
I'm going with anybody besides Rudy Gobert.
I think we have a better team. I'm just saying, man. There's so many. I would love if they traded Rudy Gobert in the middle of the season. Give me just anybody.
I think they would have to come out the gate not good. Like, I think they would have to struggle a little bit.
You can trade Rudy Gobert for me, and I think it makes that team better.
Then I'll just stay at home. I won't.
No, just clarify. You want me to come in today? No, all right.
I bet. No, that's fine.
I could get water. You need some liquid IV? No. Yep. Which flavor?
We haven't done any notes or anything, but so this is kind of off the cuff. What player in the league do you think has the most to prove? Yeah, what player do you think going into this year has if he doesn't show up, then we have to have a whole different conversation.
That's tough. I really want to say it's Rudy Gobert.
when I think about that, I think Jimmy Butler.
One
of those guys.
He'd be on my short list. I think Dame is on my list.
Kawhi.
Kawhi. The entire Sixers team. What do we? I think
what will be the excuse this time?
Exactly. I think that's what it comes down to. Like, there's no excuses now. Like, you got the team you could have asked for. Now what? I think you start having, and I know this sounds crazy. I don't care. Luka. I think Luka. You start asking that question. You went to the finals last year. I get it. I get it. I'm not taking that away. But cool, you didn't get it done. What happens this year? You can't take a step down. You have to go to Western Conference or bust for them now, in my opinion. Yep. You got to get to Western Conference Finals or bust. If you lose in the Western Conference Finals, okay, we can live with it, depending on how you lose and who you lose to. But anything less than that is a letdown because you got better. Outside of that, I mean, I don't know. Anthony Davis?
LeBron?
I don't know. But I think it's going to be a fun year. I think you have a lot of teams that are there to compete. I think that Anthony Edwards will have some questions on the table. I think that, and I don't think that he's going to, you know what? Ja Morant. Ja's up there just because Ja was Ant before Ant was Ant.
That's true.
I think that I'm curious how that team's going to look with him on there because Ja's a superstar. We know that. He's a stupid superstar, but he's a superstar nonetheless. So I'm serious. I'm curious what that's going to look like as he rolls back around.
He's NBA YoungBoy reincarnated into a basketball player.
NBA YoungBoy's in jail. There's some people that when they see freedom, it's like, nah. And he's one of them. Like, he's in jail, free. No, he can stay. That's fine.
I saw this. Speaking of that, I think I sent it to you. There's one video I saw. That's people are like, free Young Thug. and then it was like an actual clip of Young Thug when he was younger, and it's a Grand Theft Auto video game clip of him just shooting everybody and stealing cars and
It's
shit.
like, no, he can stay.
No.
Speaking of jail, they got the diddler. They
Here we
got the
go.
diddler.
Man, I was reading up on that before we started podcasting because I figured
That's
it would come up.
it's one of the nastiest reports I've ever seen in my life.
It's like uh it's it's one of those things where, so say you didn't know anything about hip hop. Say
Yeah.
you didn't know anything about Diddy. You didn't know what he was into, and you didn't know anything. You just knew this was a guy who got arrested, and you're reading this report. It says they uncovered 15 AK-47s, AR-15s, and large capacity magazines.
The drums, yeah.
And then you're like, and then like you do the stereotypical thing, and you're like, okay, rapper, AK, okay, that makes sense. And it's like, also, they uncovered 5,000 bottles of lube and baby oil, and then you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Let me say, 15 ARs for somebody with that much money, that big of a house, I don't think is the most outlandish thing in the world. I just want to start with that.
But
now once you move past that, and the fact that these were all in the same sentence, like I read this together.
It literally was.
What room are you in to find all of this?
They said it like it's not weird. Like they said it in a sequence in which you're saying like baby oil is just as incriminating as AKs and ARs. They're just like because you know, if you think about it, like they uncovered guns, drugs, money, cool,
baby oil,
guns, and some fucking KY. Like that's crazy.
But to be fair, if you find 1,000 bottles worth of lube, something's wrong. Like this, I don't need any more information. You're doing some criminal activity.
It's like you know, when you get caught with drugs, like if you get caught with, you know, an ounce, right? You're like, okay, you were just going to use that. And if you get caught with like 10 pounds, okay, you had intention to distribute. That's so much lube. You had intention to distribute.
You can buy more as you go. Like what are you doing?
This dude was he ready for like a sex apocalypse or some shit?
Yes, bro. Like if the world shuts down, I'm gonna keep fucking.
Not a morsel of food in the house, but I got 1,000 bottles of extra of Ultra Glide.
Didn't his kids live there? Like I don't understand what the hell is going on in this house.
And his kids are dumb as shit. His kids are talking like he ain't do shit.
No, didn't his son be like, yeah, no, they raided his house. They ain't checked the other house. What's in the other house?
That's the lube house. That's the lube house.
They only found $1,000 worth of lube. We got like 20,000 more, bro.
I'm sorry. You could be innocent, but if I found 1,000 bottles of lube, I'm taking you to jail anyway.
I don't know. What's the charge? I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure it out. But you're going to jail.
He a nasty motherfucker.
I want to understand what the hell is going on. There's so many others. It's not laughing matter. There's so much more
so
serious things going on, but it's so bad, and I just don't like how they led with the headline. Like he got taken in by the feds.
No, yeah,
the feds don't take you in unless they got you already. Let's be clear.
He was charged, right? And his team offered up a $50 million bond out, and they said no.
That's
50 million, and they said keep that, fam. We're gonna take it. No. We're gonna take it one way, shape, or form anyway.
Yeah, no, he's going. No. Will, what happens with Diddy from here? I mean, obviously, we don't know the full charges. We don't know the extent of the charges. I do understand they have footage from these parties.
Yeah, they said that there's some incriminating evidence.
Yes, they're drugging women. There's a security guard that came out years ago. Everybody was like, "This guy's crazy." Everything he said is spot on at this point. They said that they knew the girls would be looking for them to put drugs in the drinks as they were making mixed drinks, so they would put it in the juice ahead of time.
Like they put it in the cranberry.
Yes, it's in the cranberry juice.
It's in the mix.
That's crazy.
That's tough.
It's just nasty work, man. It's
said that the abuse was so bad that he would send, so abusing women, and he would
Mhm.
send women to like in hiding and have his team surveil them until the wounds healed and then would let them go.
That's crazy.
What?
I just don't understand. Like, first and
As
foremost,
it's so different as I have a daughter now. So like
oh,
it's so like
prayers up for everybody involved.
100%.
This is crazy. Like, it's we don't want to seem like we're joking about everything, but
The
it's just
lube is crazy.
it's so hard to fathom. Like, what the hell is going on? I don't even imagine a world like this. You think celebrity, you can get whoever you want. You don't need to do all this. But some dudes are just so nasty that they
You just
get
can't.
off on making people do what they don't want to do.
Some people just shouldn't have money, and he's one of those guys.
That's a good way to put it.
Like, because some people are just messed up in the head, and you get hundreds of millions of dollars, you're gonna get more weird because you can scratch every itch.
you can get away with it for the most
Yeah,
part. Obviously, he ultimately didn't, but look how long he did get away with it.
I want
But
to like, and
which with
honestly, shout out Cassie. Not just
yeah,
because of what
that's
she went through, but I feel like she was the straw that kind of broke the camel's back on this.
100%, 100. She was a sacrificial lamb. She put her head out there because at first we were like, "Man, you lying," but obviously not. Like everything she said, this happened, and then we saw a video. And we're like, "Oh,
It's one thing. I never got a clout chasey or a lying vibe from Cassie because the detail was
yeah,
so descriptive. And it's like, if she's lying, she's a really good liar. Because,
yeah."
I mean, you're taught or you learn at a very youngish age that's like the more detailed the lie, the more believable it is, right? But
Mhm.
like, it's like, man, if this is true, this is nasty. And then it's all coming to fruition.
It's sad to see. It's sad to watch. It's a hip hop legend, a music legend. I'm going to say hip hop. It's a music legend. And I will say with footage, how many celebrities do you think are
Gonna go
in
down.
this? There's no way on God's green earth there's not other people involved in this.
Somebody check on Meek Mill.
Meek Mill. There's a lot out there. I will say we've seen this Drake Kendrick battle. Y'all fans are nasty. Y'all are starting. The Kendrick fans are posting Drake photos with Diddy. The Drake fans are posting Kendrick pictures
I'm
with
just
Diddy.
not about to do that.
Everybody has pictures with Diddy because he's one of the most
Diddy's been
legendary.
in the studio with most people. J. Cole,
Every
J. Cole beat him up.
that's hey man, shout out to J Cole for staying out of things.
Not, J. Cole's the Michael Jordan of not getting involved in shit. But like honestly, J. Cole's ability to not get involved is impressive.
No, because what he came out and said Kanye was on some wild shit. Exhibit A. He
Diddy, he
fought
fought
Diddy.
Diddy.
Exhibit. I need to go see J Cole about who's bad in my life because he seems to know everything.
He's
Uh,
got that intuition.
and he's not scared to talk about it, which is kind of the sad part.
Yeah, he's like my
Uh,
last fist fight was with Diddy
yeah,
in a
no,
song.
slap him again. This is crazy. I hope Diddy never sees Earth again.
No,
Not Earth.
put him under the jail.
I hope he never sees the streets again. That's kind of my hope. However, with great money comes great power. As we put before, he's not going to be the only one involved in this. So, does this get covered up? We have the Jeffrey Epstein
Epstein, yeah.
stuff, where a lot of that stuff got covered, a lot of stuff got brushed over, and then we found Jeffrey
Well, because
Epstein.
he
How we found
died.
him.
He died, and like they're like, oh, no need to go any further.
Well, we know why that happened. Let's be honest here. So I want to say I hope we don't see this in this case, but I don't necessarily care. Um,
It's
it's a tough situation, you know. He's a piece of shit, but
yeah,
I want to know if somebody else was helping you do this.
it's so funny because I look at things from a different perspective because his lawyer came out. I'm sure he has the best lawyer
Of course, yeah.
that you could pay for, but the lawyer comes out and says all the any woman that was involved sexually, it was all consensual,
Mhm.
and they wanted to be there. And I'm like, cool. What about him like beating the shit out of women though? Like,
That's not consent, and we have evidence of this. Like, there's
yeah, like
no And we saw how comfortable he was doing it in the public.
Yeah, like you're just talking like it's like this whole big thing, and you're just talking about like, okay, so he didn't the sex stuff was cool. Sure. All right. What what about the kidnapping and the beating? What about this whole other
Yeah,
side?
no.
You don't have a comment to that, Mr. Lawyer?
It just gets spooky, man, because it's just like you have the Kim Porter situation, his mother's child that died mysteriously. It's there's just it's I don't know. We're at a point
He
now where
he blew up
anything
Cuddy's
negative
car.
that happened, and we just it's hip hop. No,
This
it's not
motherfucker's
normal.
the real life Joker.
Like, bro, go to jail. Like, I don't. What are we doing here?
Bro, go to jail.
I think that okay, we talk hip hop. There's so much violence and criminality in hip hop. I get it, but there's sometimes where we say, bro, go to jail. You
There's
can lie.
never like there's bars about like, hey, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get the strap, I'm gonna get the 9. No one ever said I'm gonna get a Molotov cocktail and dump
Dog,
it
you
in
blew
your
my car up. What's up with you, bro?
in the court documents said sliced open the convertible top, put I don't even know how to do a Molotov cock. Like you'd have that's some like extensive Googling. Like you are a real life supervillain.
You think he Googled that shit? How to blow up a car?
how, how to make one of those like one of those bottles with the rag hanging
Yeah.
out.
You think he Googled how to blow up Cuddy's car, like specifically?
How do I blow up Cuddy's car?
And Cuddy's like the nicest person in the world. I don't understand.
Dude, no,
It's
that's
I don't know, bro. I hope we never see the light of day again.
put him under the jail, man.
And I hope everybody that was involved came out. Read the report that his staff helped him do these things. I don't care who you're employed by. Y'all all nasty. Y'all should all go to jail too.
Everybody, every
I
one of
I
them.
don't care if you're employed by. You could just say no and quit. There has to be some morals that stand in some of this. Um, it's just a nasty story all around. If you're involved, you need to go to jail. I don't care.
Yep. And as we said it before, that's one of our most popular videos on YouTube is us saying like 50 tried to tell us.
No, 50
50's
knows
been
everything.
trying to tell us for years now.
Is 50 the most stand-up person on social media? I just need to, as much as he messes with people and jokes on people, he seems to be right about a lot of them. Like a lot of them.
I think 50 is just one of those dudes who just has that street code that never turned like super toxic.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
And that's how he operates.
And he's like, you're not going to scare me out of telling the truth. So, oh, well.
And also
Like,
50 Cent's another like he looks like an intimidating individual.
That's one way to put it.
He looks intimidating. But I had no idea his like film and production company is called G Unit. I had no idea. I just found this out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it's we got a future mixtape. I'm trying to transition because that was getting really depressing.
Oh yeah, there's only so much juice you can get out of that.
Pause.
No Diddy.
No Diddy for real. Ever. Future mixtape this Friday.
You about to go crazy. I know you about to go crazy.
I'm about to go stupid. I need you to understand what's gonna happen in my household. I have a newborn in here.
Yeah, so let me ask you. This is a good transition. I've been wanting to ask how you can't play your music at the volume that because you're a loud music player.
I am a loud music
player.
have
that completely changes now.
I've had to tone it down. Now, let me clarify. I did.
You're gonna have to learn on Friday.
We've been having working with the newborn. He likes to stay up at night, sleep during the day. So we're looking up different ways to do that. I found out it says, hey, you should play music to keep him awake during the day. I said, they may not understand what my play music means, but big dog, when this mixtape drops, you are never sleeping during the day ever again in your life. It's over with.
Me and the wife are talking about making plans later in the year to fly back and if meet Isaiah and the crew. And so I
want to be clear, if they fly back to visit, I'm kidnapping them.
No,
that's happening.
I'm like, okay, so of course we got to do some verses, but like, will the verses be the same?
No, you gotta. The baby's crying in the middle. You can't cry right when Destiny's Child drops. If
Say My Name comes on and he's crying, I'll be like, bro, what we say? You're stepping on my song. You're stepping on my song.
Dog, what are you doing? Like,
I did. If I'll let you finish your future take if you still had one, but I have a versus question to ask you. Going
Oh,
off
let's
of
go.
going off of
Let's
our
go.
last conversation.
Let's go. We need
So
the verses too, by the way.
yeah,
I know you duck and smoke. I just want to clarify. Continue.
never that,
Right.
never that. So
Right.
you, I was going off of our last pod, I was listening to it, and we're talking about the Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
performances, and then you said Jay-Z has more Super Bowl records than Wayne, is what you said.
Yes. Yes.
So does that mean
That's
you think Jay-Z beats Wayne in a versus?
not necessarily. I don't think that correlates. I don't think Super Bowl records is the same as versus records.
Okay.
I don't think it's the same conversation. Similar, maybe, but it's not the same. There's things that I can get off as Wayne in a versus that I cannot get off in the Super Bowl.
Like what?
I think Lollipop is an odd song to perform at the Super Bowl that would go crazy in verses. How are you singing the 10-year-olds licking me like a lollipop? That's crazy.
Well, you don't do the chorus though.
I just that
Shawnee
takes
wanted the you do the bridge.
I don't that takes away from the record. But okay, I'm with you. I
Yep.
do think that and that's why I think that the conversation has gotten kind of muddy when we talk about this. Super Bowl is not a hip hop crowd. You need something that's kind of globally accepted. And Wayne does have those records. Let me be clear. That's not a conversation that either one can they or can they not. They both can. I think it's about the conversation of who's going to have more of that lasting factor in that. And I think Jay Z just has more appropriate songs that's going to resonate with people a little bit differently.
Okay. That's fair.
Wayne's context of music or content in music is a little wild. As I've gotten older, you notice it more,
Yeah, he
ironically.
has so many bars about eating box. Like
Bro, like it's
so much.
and I'm sorry, but just as I age, it's just kind of like, all right, this is kind of a lot.
It's just
Uh,
it's sometimes you're just like, ew.
yeah, bro, like relax. It's not why are you eating this much?
It's like so much.
No, bro, that's like it's
And
and
he'd
I
be saying like gross bars where he's like, what she said, was it the No Worries record? She's like, sorry I didn't shave. So the pussy's kind of furry. He said, put it in my face. I ain't got no worries. I'm like,
yes, like bro,
ew,
like you grown. I don't even know
damn.
that. He has a lot of shitting bars too. I revisited that era. I went to go that I went that pip searching and found some. There's way too many shitting bars in Wayne's discography.
A lot
It's
of going to the bathroom. A lot of
yeah,
going
yeah,
to the
yeah.
bathroom.
I'm shitting on these. I'm shitting. Don't I get it? You have bowel movements on people. Move on. I think that and part of it is me being an old wash dude now. I
Wash.
accept that for what it is. Hella wash. There's just certain content that just doesn't resonate well with me anymore. I
Yep.
like I'm, which is so crazy because I'm a huge Future fan. But Future has such an elegant way of speaking to ratchet shit.
Dude,
But
just stop, cut the bullshit. Just say you like the way Future talks. Like, just come
nah,
on. You don't
it's
have to
not what I'm
pause it.
saying. That's not what I'm saying. It's elegant. You know what I mean? This is ratchet like with the little comma up top, like it's French.
Rache.
Rache. It's different. It's different. You would understand. But it's I think that when you talk about context in that, like what's Jay-Z's nastiest song that you would expect in the Super Bowl? Let's start there.
Nah,
It's hard to even
he
think.
didn't really have
It's hard to
those.
even think of one,
He
right?
didn't really have because he's just been in such a committed relationship for so long. He has more love songs than anything.
That's why I say the Super Bowl records work a little bit better.
You don't think there's
Uh,
anything romantic about what? So Wayne plays "How to Love." I like
okay.
that record. I don't care what you say.
I'm not a huge fan of the
I
record.
like
I
"How to
don't.
Love."
Let me not say I'm not a huge fan. I don't hate it, but it's not high on my Wayne discography.
Does Wayne play
Uh,
Prom Queen? Remember Prom
if
Queen?
he plays Prom Queen, I'm turning my TV
Prom
off.
Queen. Prom.
No, with today's Wayne vocals, I'm turning that shit off. Let
That
me,
is bad.
bro. Let me know when the fourth quarter starts. This is crazy.
Not even the third quarter. Let me know when the
No,
fourth quarter. I need a
I don't want.
second.
I don't want to take no chances of hearing
I
that
need a.
shit.
I need a minute.
But it's Wayne has a lot of bad songs. But okay, anyways, I don't want to. This is not a shit on Wayne. I love Lil Wayne. He's in my top 5 all time. I want to clarify. But I think when you talk about Super Bowl, it's just different, bro. And it's have you watched that Kendrick Lamar Big Steppers on Amazon Prime performance?
Yeah, we were texting when we were watching it. Yeah,
That's right. It's incredible, and I think that. And let me be clear, it's not a Wayne conversation. I think a lot of rappers don't do that, don't perform that way in hip hop. As somebody who's been an avid performer watcher, And concert goer, the only people I've really seen it from is Kanye West and Kendrick. Maybe a little bit Travis Scott, maybe. Everybody else sits in front of the speakers, raps on stage, runs around a little bit, and that's it. No,
And
not
you've
for
been to Drake concerts too.
correct.
And it's not the best, but it's not bad.
Drake concerts are incredible simply because he has so many hits.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Is the performance incredible? Not really, but there's so many hits it doesn't matter. I get it. That's why I'm all for a Drake performance for Super Bowl. I think it makes sense. Is it a theatrical scenario? No. I think every concert I've been to with Kanye West tells a story. One of the best concerts I've ever been to was Yeezus concert. Yeezus concert helped me appreciate the album so much more. And the Big Steppers, there's some theater involved. There's storytelling involved. It's gonna make you feel something a little bit, but it's a performance that's put on. So I think that we have to have that conversation. We talk about the Lil Wayne's performing the Super Bowl. Hell, a Jay-Z performing the Super Bowl. It's different. It's a very different type of conversation. I think we saw Kendrick Lamar perform the Super Bowl with Dr. Dre. His performance was completely different from everybody else's.
It was the best part. Yeah.
He had dancers. He had it's different.
I don't know. 50 Cent did hang upside down though.
That was crazy. 50 at 50, hanging upside down, looking like his blood pressure dropped immediately. But I appreciated that as an old person. I said, dog, I know your head was crazy. Pause. This
Whoa.
This is getting stupid.
That was I know your head is crazy.
I said your head was crazy. Still pause. I don't want to.
You know what?
We can move on.
Moving on. You actually gave me a really good segue. You said that
going to was crazy.
You did say that, and I'm gonna tell you what. I'm way too lazy to edit that out, so that's staying in. But you said. All right. So you said that going to a Drake concert was great because he has so many hits.
Right.
And I preemptively, without you knowing,
oh shit,
I pulled up. You ever heard of a website called Ranker?
No.
There's a website called Ranker. A lot of people are making content out of it. It's essentially a website where people go and rank songs, or they rank. It's a list of literally anything you could think of, and people vote, and so it creates a top whatever list.
Okay.
So I have in front of me the top 50 plus, but we'll just stay top 10. Top 10 Drake songs of all time. And so this is, people have voted on this. And this has been up since the beginning of his career. So there's some records that have some time on this website. According to Ranker, you think you can guess Drake's top 10 songs of all time?
I can get close.
You get close. All right. What we got?
Am I just gonna name songs? You let me know if I'm on the list or not.
I'm gonna let you know if it's top 10.
Marvin's Room.
Marvin's Room is number 2.
Awesome, perfect.
Right off the bat.
God's Plan.
Okay. God's Plan is not in the top 10. It's actually 14.
Okay. Hell yeah, fucking right.
It's not top 10.
What?
It's not top 10. I didn't make the list. It's actually 19.
Give me Hotline Bling, maybe just popularity.
Hotline Bling. You're in the right ballpark.
I'm trying to think of what we're going off of here.
That's 16. So you only got 2 out of the top 10. Like
okay,
let's just really think back to the inception of Drake.
Okay, because this is from the beginning. Okay, yeah. Okay, I got you. I'm having a brain fart. Baby, you my everything. Blah blah blah.
Best I ever had.
Yes.
Number 4.
There
you go.
Give me.
I would say like stay in the realm for these like stay in the realm of, you know,
which Best I Ever Had is not a top 10 Drake song, but okay.
It's number 4 on here, which is crazy.
That's stupid. Okay, but that gives me an idea of what we're going based off of.
Yep.
Okay, give me
some songs you're not gonna like on here.
Started from the bottom.
Okay, see, that's a good one. And I want you to stay in that mind frame, but that's 13. So just outside the top 10.
I hate that mind frame too. The Motto.
Not in the top 10, but like you're there though. Like you're missing a song. Out of that time frame, you're missing a song, and you know the song.
I know every Drake song.
Yeah, like you know the song, like it. So Motto, off of that album,
Oh man, I feel like I'm having a brain fart. We called out Marvin's Room, um, uh, the one with the weekend. What is that song called?
There you go.
Ooh, I can like repeat the songs, but I forget the names sometimes. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Crew
your
Love, Crew
Crew
Love,
Love,
Crew Love.
Crew
Okay.
Love is Crew Love is 18.
Are these really?
You're missing. There's one. You're gonna be mad when I tell you. There's one
I
pivotal song off the album that
I
you're
almost
missing.
don't want you to tell me, and that's gonna bother the hell out of me. Um,
And I know there's a song. There's a song sitting at number 5 that I know you don't like, but it's old. It's older Drake.
I hate old Drake.
Yep. Number 5.
um, I don't know if I have anything else.
All right.
I don't
So
understand this list anymore.
number 1 is this. You were there. Headlines.
Oh, I hate that song.
2, Marvin's Room, which you got. 3, Passion Fruit.
That's okay.
4 is Best I Ever Had.
Mm-hmm.
5, this is where you get mad. Over. 6 is You Were So Close.
Who voted on this?
It's the people. I don't know. 6 is Hold On, We're Going Home. 7 is Take Care with Rihanna.
What the hell?
8 is Nice for What. 9 is
bad.
Pound Cake.
This is terrible.
And
okay.
10 is Energy.
Okay, I want you to tell me, out of all those songs, how many of those songs would be in your top 10 Drake songs? 2?
I don't think any of these would be. I mean, I like Energy a lot.
I like Energy a lot. That's debatable.
That could be in my top 10 at some point.
Marvin's Room, I could debate it. That's about it.
Yeah, Marvin's Room is another one.
That list is horrible.
Pound Cake is like, this is gonna sound really anti Jay-Z, but take Jay-Z's verse off of Pound Cake, and that's a good song.
That's a good song, but it's
one of the worst Jay-Z verses I've ever heard.
Maybe top 30 Drake songs.
He went on the scheme of different types of cake. So much money, I want a pound cake. So many diamonds, this a carrot cake.
What are
you looking sad? That's upside down cake.
Dog.
That's the go. That's my go.
Who is this?
No, I'm serious. The beat, one of my favorite beats of all time, Pound Cake.
It's a great beat. Like I said,
Drake is rapping his ass off, but then Jay-Z comes in and just
I can give it a top 20 Drake song. That's as far as I'm going. I think that the golden era of Drake is that 2016 to 2020, maybe 2015 to like 2019. I don't know what albums came out during that time, but I feel like that's golden era Drake.
I can actually vote on these. I'm about to vote down on this. This is stupid.
Yeah, this list is trash, bro.
Passion Fruit at 3 makes sense. I like Passion Fruit a lot.
All right. What I said 2015 to 2019. I'm standing on that.
That's the golden era.
2013 to 2019.
That's the
nothing run. Nothing was the same. If you're reading this too late, what a time to be alive. Views. I'm cool with saying 2013 to 2016 is top-notch Drake. Views aged on me so gracefully. I was whatever about that album, and now I think it's an amazing album. I think that's his last great album that he put out. I'm not gonna say it's a classic, but it's the last great album he put out. Everything after that, it hasn't been bad, but it's been whatever. Her Loss was cool. Every other album has been worse versions of the songs he's already made before.
Her Loss is really good.
No, I like Her Loss.
Such a good album. Shout out.
But I think Her Loss was good unexpected with the run he was on. Am I off there?
What was that?
A good unexpected on the run he was on. Like what came before was not as good. What came after was not as good. But that was solid.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're wrong by any means. So I'm gonna name some songs off of the upcoming Future project, and I want you to tell me which song do you think is gonna be the best. It leads off with Teflon Don.
Really?
Yep. Teflon Don's the first record.
That's the best song.
2 is Lil Demon.
That's the best song.
3 is Ski. SKI.
I think I heard the sample of this and I was about to lose my brain.
4 is Ready to Cook Up.
Wait a minute. This might be the greatest album of all time.
5 is Plutoski.
Wait, hold on. What's
Like
happening?
Pluto ski.
I
Six
guess you
is
broke that down like I didn't understand it.
six is too fast. I mean, you don't get my bars; they are over your head.
Mm, yeah.
Six is too fast. Seven is ocean. Eight is press the button. Nine is MJ. 10 is Brazier. I'm gonna say it's probably it's two Z's. Brazier.
Mm-hmm.
11 South of France. I bet you that one's gonna be
South
nuts.
of France is gonna be nuts. Oh my god! And you know that did you know that on the album covers, like the little house on there, that's the dungeon.
Oh, the Dungeon Family. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Can we get an
we.
Andre 3K verse?
I would. He's a future fan. He's came out
I
and
know
said this before.
they all come from the same basement.
I um I would love that. I don't think it's gonna happen, but geez, man.
Hey,
Future had this run in 2016, 2015, one of the two, where he just went crazy. I think it was from 2015 to 2016. And I feel like we're on another one of those runs because every album he's put out this year has been fantastic.
it's I feel like he's in the maybe not like I don't know, type shit's a huge record.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is he might not have like the hits like he once was,
What you talking about? Like that was number one.
but we know, but
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
it
And
does in the concept of what I'm saying though.
it does in the sense I get what you're
If
saying.
Kendrick's not on
However,
the song isn't as big.
but who created the song and put Kendrick on the
No,
song?
I'm not. This isn't an opportunity for me to. I'm not trying to. I know you're on your future cape shit. Like I get it, but I'm not.
That's
What I'm trying. If you let me finish my point, it's not what
I,
I'm saying.
I can't take the cape off this week.
But I I'm actually ending it with a compliment. I think as far as from a technicality standpoint, I think he's the most polished I've ever heard him.
Yeah.
Like
I could agree with that.
it's so good, right? Because like before, Future was kind of hit or miss where he'd make some songs that I just feel are amazing, and then he makes songs I'm like, oh, that's not really for me. Now he's found this middle ground where they're just all really good.
Yeah.
He's
No,
just
it's
he found his lane, and obviously he found his lane before, but he's just it's almost like he had time to really, you know, tighten some screws. And
and this is impressive where at how far he's in his career to hit his stride like this is insane.
it's
It's
just so
it's it's
consistent right now.
it's not common that you see this that because it's not like Future's reinventing the wheel by any means. This is just
Right.
Future, right? But I feel like his what he's doing just keeps getting better and better in that same realm. He knows his bag, he stays in his bag, and he
That's
has
true.
a great way of keeping his bag interesting.
This is true.
And that's the tough part to do.
I don't disagree with any of that. And I just want to give you my nomination for the best song on this upcoming mixtape. Track 13, Made My Hoe Faint.
Why did you? Okay, that's not fair. You didn't give me that option.
No,
That's
I had
crazy.
to save that one.
That's crazy.
South of France and Made My Hoe Faint are like my two nominations.
I'm gonna play that in front of my wife, and she's gonna throw something at me, and I don't care. You gotta take chances in life
And you
sometimes.
know, Future doesn't beat around the bush. He's probably has a chorus where he's chanting "Made my hoe faint, made my
Yes,
hoe
yeah, no.
faint."
There's no secrets to these
There's no
bars.
subliminals. There's no wordplay. He's like, "Nah, I'm literally gonna make my hoe faint."
Was it the last album photos came to the party for the photos, show up my new outfit and show off my new bitch. I said, hey brother,
Hey,
you spoke to my soul.
um, damn. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be interesting. Is anybody else dropping this Friday?
I don't think so. And
Um,
how are we feeling? I know we've talked about the Kendrick track. Um, it's still not on DSPs. Nothing else is released after. I told you that if nothing else comes with this, I don't like the move. Love the song. I still don't like the move to this day. I think it's weird. I think it was odd timing. I think it was kind of, I don't want to say pointless because it's a good song, but it's why?
you know,
Which I'm trying to understand. I don't know. I want something to follow with that because it feels random. I guess
I don't
somebody
know.
who's been so strategic the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those situations where you have to see what happens and then we'll understand because the record it wasn't even. It seemed like it was more of a diss towards academics than it was Drake.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's a Drake diss. There's some shots that could be applied to Drake.
Mm.
I don't from the guy who said if I diss you, it's going to be direct. I I'd like to take him at his word because he's been so direct at dissing Drake. So I don't.
Say Drake.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Um, and it's so interesting because, and when I texted you when the record dropped, I said he sounds like he's in album mode
Yeah.
because obviously I look at music in such a weird way, and even in the earlier diss tracks, in the middle of the Drake Kendrick battle, there were some times where Kendrick didn't sound polished,
Mhm.
but that's
Which
also what I really love about hip hop, which
which
is
tracks do you can you
I think Not Like Us, there's some times where he doesn't sound polished. Like
okay
there's some bars that maybe I don't want to get to a like, oh, I'm
technical?
teaching Kendrick how to rap or telling Kendrick how to rap, but like
Yeah.
there's some bars where there are too many words in a punchline and it kind of
Okay.
seemed rushed at times. But when you're trying to get off a certain point, maybe it gets that way. And that's also what I love about hip hop. I mean, I always reference Wu-Tang, where Wu-Tang purposely made their shit. They had all the resources to make their shit sound clear and perfect, and they purposely made it sound rugged because that's what it was, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes you have to, I think it was like DJ Vlad or some corny dude that was like, the first record, Euphoria, sounded bad because it wasn't mixed well. And I'm just like, well, hip hop, sometimes it didn't have to be mixed well. Sometimes
Yeah.
like that's just what the moment calls for. But I almost feel like within every song released, like I felt like the first record, Euphoria, I felt like there's definitely some verses or some parts of verses where I felt like it was a little all over the place as far as just from a technical standpoint. Then it seemed like things kept getting better. And then when you hear this latest record, I don't think it's the best record, but from a technical standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
flawless. It's like there's not a word out of place. And it almost seemed like from his releases, it almost seems like we're going. It's like we're almost like exercising,
Yeah.
like we're getting in shape, right? And then that record came out, and I'm like, from a technical standpoint, as someone who like overly analyzes, schemes and shit like that, he sounds like he's ready to go.
When's the album coming? Give me your prediction.
Well, so if there wasn't a Super Bowl announcement and we got this record, I would say album's coming soon.
Yeah.
But because we got this record and there's a Super Bowl announcement, I could easily see him putting this record out as like a here's something. I
It's
need to take some time.
but I don't love this because I don't want to hear anything unless it's a single. At this point, I think
Sure.
he's been so strategic. He's been so polished with the strategy. Maybe not with the songs, but with strategy. Everything's made sense when and hey, maybe I don't know the play, and that's what it is. I'm okay with being wrong with that. But right now, it doesn't make sense, and I feel like everything has been so perfect with how we're doing this chronologically. So I don't know. I thought we were gonna get a big single to come out with. I'm telling you, if I'm Kendrick right now, where's my Beyonce single? I need that. That's Kendrick has been on what two Beyonce albums. He's never had a song with Beyonce on it. I'm turning in my favor right this second. Give me my Beyonce single. I'm putting it out right now. Let it build up. Let it do its work, and I'm performing that at the Super Bowl. And I'm bringing Beyonce out.
Yeah. No, I definitely overanalyze rhyme schemes. You definitely overanalyze rollouts. We
Maybe
all we all overanalyze something.
that's fine.
like
I'm just telling you because right
like
now,
you're pretty much
let's
the only person. Like I could text, I don't even know a lot of people, but I could talk to a bunch of people who listen to music and I could be like, here's the Kendrick record. You are the only person that would text back and be like, I don't like the timing. Like that's only a you thing. And I love that
but
about you.
that's it's because I understand the grand scheme of things. Like it's not just
Yeah.
put out a good song. Like there's strategy behind everything, and there's business behind everything. So it has to make sense. And I just think this is the first time what he's doing doesn't make sense.
But I feel like it could not make sense now.
And that's why I preface I could be 100% wrong about this based on what happens after. I understand that. But I can't speak for what's going to happen later. I'm going to speak for what happens now.
Yeah. No, I just I don't just give me the music. I don't care what time it comes out, what day it comes out, if it's a full moon or a waxing gibbous, you know?
No, releasing your album when it's not a full moon is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna
Like I
lie.
just as long as I feel like we've gotten so much Kendrick music this year, and I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like, it's just more. It's just
oh
more.
yeah, oh yeah. No, 100%. This is the most we've gotten without an album ever. So I'm excited about that. It's been fun. I hope just because we talked about it before, this is one of the greatest hip hop years I've ever seen in my life, ever. Probably
Yeah.
is one of the probably is the greatest hip hop year ever, pending on what type of album we get. Because if you
Yeah.
give me a bad album, doesn't really matter. I'm sorry, I've seen better things. Now
I'm
based
such a
on,
fan of December releases.
but it's most business wise, it
I
doesn't make
love
sense.
a Christmas album.
Kendrick's gonna give us a Chris album, that'd be crazy.
A Christmas with like Mariah Carey and shit. No,
um,
I think
I think if you get that close, you might as well wait for the Super Bowl to release it.
you
Personally,
might because it's in February.
correct. Yeah, you. It's. I think it's either it's going to be earlier now, which, like I said, I think singles is a good time to get off, and maybe in today's world, this is way too early to put out a single. I get that, but it's I think you have to either put it out now, let it build up, or put it out right around the Super Bowl.
Do you think that there's a world? Now I could be reaching here, but just hear me out.
Okay.
Do you think that there's a world where the people, whoever makes the decisions at for the Super Bowl halftime, could be Jay-Z, could be a handful of people, whatever. Do you think there might be a world where they influence the performer to have something to put out week
I think
of?
so. Um,
Like,
I can't say that because I don't know if it behooves the Super Bowl for that to happen.
well, it's just like
It benefits the
I'm
artist,
yeah, I'm thinking about it from like getting more people to watch the Super Bowl halftime show, right?
but I think nobody's watching the Super Bowl for new music. Nobody is.
No, no,
It's
no.
not what you.
No,
I'm
no.
sorry. Go ahead.
Hear me here. Like I
Okay.
think you get the reason why you have a Super Bowl halftime show is to get some of their fandom into the seats. That's one aspect of it. There's different aspects. That's one aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So for the true hip hop heads
Mm-hmm.
that love hip hop and don't hip hop and sports are like so connected, and that's why this podcast works, right?
Yeah.
But for the people that like, I just like hip hop, I don't really watch sports like that. What's gonna get them to tune in is an album the Friday before the Super Bowl. So I wonder if there's maybe a world where the powers that be that make those decisions go, hey, like maybe not like a demand by any means, but maybe like, hey, are you gonna have something to promote, something to put out? You know, the Friday before the Super Bowl is big time. I wonder if maybe Kendrick was about to do something, and then once the Super Bowl came, it kind of like, oh, I
I
gotta
can
wait,
I, can-
I gotta wait now.
I could see that because I think without the Super Bowl, you're missing an opportunity by not putting it out this year. I think with the Super Bowl, you've kind of extended that time period. If I'm Kendrick, I'm performing on stage, and the second before I drop the mic, I'm out right now, and I'm moving on. I think
Damn.
that's how you do it personally. Um, Now I would have some singles out prior to that. Obviously, I keep talking about singles, but I would put some singles out prior to that. I think with the release this anticipated, you want to put some feelers out there to kind of see what you're getting. But that's what I would do. Uh, does the Super Bowl encourage that? Maybe I could see that a world where like, hey, if you're gonna put something out, might be a good idea to do it
And
around this time.
wait, February. February's a good month.
Because I think that a convenient, and I think me and you don't think this about Kendrick, right? But from a big business standpoint, what if you put out an album early and it sucks? That's a problem. That's a problem. So I may not want you to put out an album super early, just
Do you
because
do you think
a
there's a
business has to think
world?
about that.
Do you think there's a world where he uses the Super Bowl to promote the album that's coming out maybe the following week?
I think so. I think that's very doable. I would give him the
Put
window
a QR code in the middle of the screen for a couple
for
seconds,
for pre-order.
and
Yeah,
then people scan it, and it's just like that's the new album.
But I think if I'm releasing it around the time of the Super Bowl, I'm giving you from the Friday before to the Friday after. That's your window to put out an album. Just
Yep.
because you have the most eyes on you. I think wait until that following Friday is a little too late, to be honest with you. The world moves way too fast right now. You have to jump on it. That's why I said I would do it right after the performance. Album
Do
out now.
do you think you're still standing strong that Wayne doesn't make an appearance?
So
Uh-oh.
I actually thought about this. I thought
Yep.
about the perfect rollout intro for Wayne.
A Wayne single?
No. Just a rollout for Wayne coming out, right? We all heard the reincarnated track, right? That little ha ha, like in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Run that into on the block with Wayne.
There you go.
This straight off the block. Like I would love that. It's not gonna happen. We Wayne put out a very emotional video.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
That was one of the more corny things I've ever seen. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
This is the Bench Player Podcast, guys.
But I have a problem with it because when have we ever seen Wayne talk?
Isn't he on like First Take or some shit?
When
He's
have we ever seen Wayne talk about music? Ever?
That's a fair point.
Why am I just now hearing from you in this moment in time?
He did have
About
he had a podcast during COVID.
yeah, cool. Nobody watched it. Let's be honest.
Damn. Okay, this is crazy.
All right, my bad. Did you watch it?
Yes. As he interviewed M, he interviewed.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
I can't think of it, but I watched that shit.
I'm a Wayne fan. I don't want to hear. I'm hurt. I'm appalled. And maybe this is a bad way to look at it. I don't want to get too political. Bro, we heard you talk about matters that affected Black America, and you didn't give a shit. I don't care that you're hurt right now. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I just really don't.
Didn't Wayne say like racism doesn't exist or something?
Yes. He was like,
a white cop saved me, so there's no racism.
He said everybody lives matter, especially to my bitches. This was on like a political.
Hey.
I don't fuck you. Like I don't care.
We dying out here.
Yeah, he said my life matters, especially to my bitches. I remember this interview because I was like, oh, okay.
That sucks.
I never wanted to unhear something before ever in my life, just because I'm such a huge Wayne fan.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm hurt. I don't give a fuck.
No, I was listening to someone and they said, yeah, having Wayne perform during Black History Month is not a good idea.
Yeah, no, bro. He doesn't care about Black people. He doesn't.
But that's something that at least I didn't think about it because I barely know when the Super Bowl is. Just because dates and years and times I'm just awful with. That's something my brain doesn't compute. But I did not put together that's February Black History Month. Kendrick is perfect for that.
Yes, and I think that we talk about what's going to make sense business wise, and if I'm trying to put somebody up that's going to be the first rapper to ever perform the Super Bowl, what's their content of their music mixed with what's going to be good for business, mixed with what's good for hip hop culture? Kendrick Lamar makes the most sense.
Yep.
Does Wayne make sense
for hip hop culture? It can't be Wayne or Kanye during Black History Month. It can't. Those are two of the worst choices.
Like, does Wayne make sense for hip hop culture? Absolutely. Would never deny it. I get it. Does it make sense for business? Not really. And I think hip hop fans keep looking at it like, no, it just makes perfect sense. It's Lil Wayne. I understand that. Big business at this point in time, y'all do not want to hear it. I don't care. Big business does not care about Lil Wayne right now. I'm sorry. It's just a reality of it. It's just that's where we're at. It's okay. It's Lil Wayne's past his prime. There's nothing wrong with that. He had such a long prime. He's had one of the longest primes I've ever seen.
Yep.
He's been amazing. We're not in the prime right now. And I understand Usher was not, Rihanna was not. I get it. But I'm talking about what would make the most sense right now. It's going to be Kendrick in that scenario.
Also, when you're a R&B legend and a guy that's in pre-pause, when you're that's in such good shape like Usher, he's a performer,
yeah,
right? So he can put on a show.
Correct.
With a rapper, you need a little more help to put on a show.
You need somebody that just puts on a theatrical performance with a
Yeah.
freaking talking doll like Kendrick did. You need that type of person. Like I
Yeah.
said, if Kanye wasn't batshit crazy, he'd probably make the most sense. But he's fucking crazy, so we can't put
No,
Kanye West up there.
he
He's
can't.
gonna
He can't be in the building. I'm gonna be honest
he'll
with you.
hold the mic hostage for 45 minutes. I would never give Kanye West the mic during the Super Bowl ever.
He would just repeat Yeezy.com,
hundred
Yeezy.com.
percent.
Just
I'd never want Kanye West to touch a microphone on live television ever in my life.
it's just not a good idea.
It's a terrible idea. Drake would make perfect sense. I want to be clear that he makes perfect sense. Just the amount of hits. He's not that over the top performer. He's not a bad performer. He's the in shape performer. Has hits. He makes sense as well. Right now, I understand Kendrick. If I'm picking the first hip hop artist and I want the first hip hop artist to be this year, Kendrick is the guy.
Yep. No, I agree with you. So Wayne versus Jay-Z in a versus. Where you stand on that?
That'd be fun. Let's do that.
Okay.
Don't be scared. I'll take Jay-Z. I don't care. I think Wayne would probably have better odds in my opinion. But I'll take Jay-Z. I don't care.
We'll do that. Do you have any words of wisdom before we I made myself bleed. That's crazy.
Oh, it's aggressive about this Wayne talk.
Just
I want to proactively say fuck Rudy Gobert. I know this season is coming and it is near. So I want to make sure that he understands my distasteful for him prior to the season starting. You're terrible. I hope you get traded for some gummy bears. Anthony Edwards should not have to see you in the paint whenever he tries to go in for a dunk because you are like an immobile giraffe just sitting in the paint.
Immobile giraffe is crazy.
Move out the way. I want to trade him for. I'm a Timberwolves fan just because I like Ant. I like Ant. I think he's a great player. I'm so tired of seeing Bambi in the paint. Anytime I want to see
we gotta stop you.
Highlight. This is crazy. No,
once you get to this certain level, when we get to the end of the podcast,
we can keep talking about it. Rudy Gobert is equivalent to an antelope that has full weight on an oversized antelope in the paint, trying to go against a hippo. What are you doing here, bro? Move. Get out the paint. He's here for defense. He can't guard nobody. I don't understand.
You get so unhinged as as we get into the night.
I don't understand. I want to. I can make an all-time list of who we should trade Rudy Gobert for, and the first one starts with a washing machine. I just want to be clear.
That's item number one.
Washing machine. It don't even have to work. It serves the same purpose as Rudy Gobert in the paint. It doesn't matter. What are we doing here? That's all. That's it. So, I proactively before I dig too deep into it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, not a fan of Rudy Gobert
at all.
But any other words of wisdom?
Yeah, you can't talk about vagina on the Super Bowl stage. Just want to be clear.
No lollipop.
No lollipop. And to make matter, to be fair, you also can't call people pedophile on the Super Bowl stage. So I don't know how that's gonna go. You can't do that.
It's a double-edged sword, is what it is.
I like Not Like Us. You cannot perform that full verse of the Super Bowl. You can't.
Maybe does Not Like Us make the new album?
If you're smart, yes. I don't know if I like it
with how specific it is.
I don't know if I like it personally. Business-wise, I'd put it on there. Well, Kendrick probably not. I don't think Kendrick's that big on like.
Just get a fresh batch of songs.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
but no. Well, I don't have anything else. I feel like we ran long. I feel like this was a long episode. Maybe sometimes I feel like we're long.
We should pause.
Nah. All right. Well, yeah, let's just move on to next week. This is the Pinch Player podcast and pause, you know?
Discuss.